Hello, and welcome to the Arbitration Conversation. So in this arbitration conversation, we are going to talk with a real leader in legal education around arbitration issues and has really done really phenomenal work at the University of Pittsburgh School of Law with respect to arbitration and sort of classes and education and really helping students to understand arbitration, how it works, and why it's important. So we have none other than Ronald Brand. Professor Brand, he is the Chancellor Mark A. Nordenberg University Professor and John E. Murray Faculty Scholar and Academic Director of and the creation of the University of Pittsburgh's Center for International Legal Education and its Masters of Law program for foreign law graduates. He's also written many books and articles on arbitration and international civil dispute resolution. I have been happy to be on panels with him at conferences and work on UNCI trial together. So it's really fantastic, Ron, to have you with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy. It's really nice to be with you on this project. I've enjoyed watching your interviews and am very happy to be with you for this one.
Well, this is an important question, right? Because how does arbitration fit in with legal education? So maybe I could ask you just to give a little bit of background about what you have done at University of Pittsburgh School of Law.
Sure, thank you. Well, we've used arbitration as a platform to do more, and in particular, we've used the vis moot, and Eric Bergston's creation of the vis moot was, I think, masterful, because when others were creating competition, he was creating an educational platform. And I think it's, for me, as far as I've seen, it's the single best legal education platform that exists. We've used it, we've participated in the vis moot at Pitt, and it's been a great training tool for our students. But more than that, we've used it to help do curriculum development and other matters overseas in cooperation with the U.S. State Department and the U.S. Commerce Department. We began that in 1999, actually, with we had a State Department grant to do a partnership with the University of Donetsk, which is a little hard to reach right now, in Ukraine. And we realized that we could find the best students, but then we wanted to move them forward and get them to a point where they could come back and help their law school. And we used the vis moot to help identify them. We would then pick the best ones and bring them to Pitt for an LLM. And then when they go back, they could teach, they could be involved and do other things. It worked very well. It wasn't my idea. It was the idea of my assistant director at the time, Mark Walter. And then we did it with grants from the State Department, University of Belgrade, the University of Pristina in Kosovo, and Kiev Tereshevchenko in Kiev. And it just seemed to work really well. And it resulted not just in the creation of courses in arbitration and commercial law, but the development of new curriculum in those areas.
That is really fascinating. You know, it's funny. So I did a project in the Republic of Georgia, and I actually ran across and worked with someone who was she was then working with USAID on the same project with me in the Republic of Georgia, but it was because of inspiration from the vis moot. So I see sort of the pay it forward idea that happened through that project.
Well, yeah, and actually in Georgia, there's a piece of what we've done that has ended up there as well. After we saw that this worked well in Ukraine and the Balkans, we suggested to the Commerce Department, or a unit of the Commerce Department, the Commercial Law Development Program, that they use it in the Middle East. And they were skeptical at first, but we started in 2007 with University of Bahrain, and now actually we just completed this spring. We do a pre-moot there each year. We do training in the fall, training in the spring, and then a pre-moot. And in the spring we had 40 law schools from 24 different countries, all of the countries in the Gulf region, none of which most of whom didn't even have, interestingly enough, arbitration in the curriculum. And you'd think in the UAE they would, but hadn't had. But all of the countries of the Gulf region, in addition, Jordan, Lebanon, Tunisia, and we've reached Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Myanmar now. And so we use this to develop the curriculum in those schools. But at the commercial law development program, then I guess the other thing we've done is work with them, and for our kind of focus at our Center for International Legal Education at Pitt is that we don't do it unless it helps our students. And you think, well, we're trying to help other schools. Well, we've had over 30 of our own students now who, with the support of CLDP, have traveled with me or on their own to help train teams in these areas. Some of them now are working at the commercial law development program. One of them, Drew Roberts, has worked in Georgia with their teams there on their pre-moot and those things. So it's been an expansive sort of thing, but it's created wonderful opportunities for the students at those schools as well as for the students at Pitt, because once they've done the VIS-MOOT here, we send them out to teach, and you know that you learn something better when you teach it.
Oh, there's no question. And how do you establish these? So what does the curriculum then look like at Pitt? So for those students, do you have like a comparative arbitration, or what do the classes look like?
Yeah, well, at Pitt, we've created a model where we use my international commercial arbitration course to select our VIS-MOOT team.
Okay.
And at the end of the semester, we select the team from that course. And then that team goes forward. And then the next year, if they're second year students, the first time as 3L students, they become the trainers. But what we did this year with CLDP is take that, and since my course had gone online, we took the modules from that and used them throughout the Middle East in the training process as well. And that worked incredibly well. But it's done more for those schools than just enhance the curriculum. It's created a cadre of people who come back and help. But it's created a cadre of people who go on to do other things. At the University of Belgrade, one of the students we had come as an LLM went back, Milena Djordjevic, and now has created her own institution there with the Belgrade pre-moot that gets about 80 teams a year and really is one of the best anywhere. One of the first students we had from University of Pristina in Kosovo, who had met in Kosovo, brought over to did the VIS-MOOT, brought over for the L and went back. She just became president of Kosovo this year, Vjosa Osmani, just a few weeks ago. And so it's had a repeat effect. I also like to tell people that they think, well, you're doing commercial law, you're doing arbitration. Well, that's what you teach, but I like to say what we teach is arbitration. What we do is human rights, because these are countries that have been in transition. In Saudi Arabia, the best teams we've had have been all women. When you use something like commercial law and arbitration in a competition, it's not threatening to anybody. So we've managed to have in the same room the team from Kosovo and the team from Serbia, the team from Eastern Ukraine and the team from Western Ukraine, a team from Saudi Arabia and a team from Iran. And that just makes a huge difference, because these people realize that here's something they can talk about together and work on together. So to me, it's much more than just arbitration, but it's arbitration as that platform. And it is the VIS-MOOT, which was created by Eric Bergston to be an educational tool more than a competition. And it really is that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I saw it firsthand in the Republic of Georgia, as I said, and it's really been kind of a phenomenon, it's really important. And this idea of students teaching each other really is very impactful, because there's no question that somebody learns something better when they actually have to teach it, and the connections, lasting connections this creates. Really great work that you're doing. And I just thank you, Professor Brand. Really great work you're doing. And thank you so much for being an inspiration for many of us out there to put together projects of this sort. So thank you.
Thank you, Amy, and thanks for the chance to talk with you. I appreciate it very much.